This message arrives from a parallel universe, where choice was no longer confused with loss.
From here, we observe you standing in front of open doors. So many of them, too many, each one glowing with possibility. Each one whispering a different version of you. You hesitate, not because you do not want to move, but because you are afraid of what movement will destroy. In your world, choosing is framed as violence. A door closes, a path disappears, a future dies. You call this prudence. You call it keeping options open. From here, we call it prolonged mourning, for lives that were never meant to be lived. You believe that not choosing keeps everything alive. It does not. It keeps everything suspended, untouched, unreal. Possibility feels safer than reality because it does not demand your body. It does not demand your time. It does not demand consequences. But it also does not give anything back. We see how you grieve futures that never happened, careers you almost chose, people you almost loved, cities you almost moved to, versions of yourself you almost became. You carry them like ghosts, not because they were real, but because you never allowed them to live or die. In our universe, we learned this too late. Every choice contains a small funeral, and every refusal to choose creates a larger one. You are not afraid of commitment. You are afraid of closure, because closure feels final, and finality feels like death. But listen carefully now. Nothing remains possible forever. Even the doors you do not touch will eventually close on their own. Time does not wait for certainty. The difference is this. When time closes a door for you, it leaves you powerless. When you close it yourself, it leaves you directed. You confuse freedom with infinite options. But infinite options paralyze the nervous system. Freedom comes from inhabiting one path fully. In our timeline, people discovered something unexpected. They did not regret the doors they closed. They regretted the lives they never entered deeply enough. You mourn imaginary losses more than real sacrifices. Because imaginary losses have no edges. They can expand endlessly. Real sacrifices are contained. They hurt, but they are finite. You think choosing one life means betraying all others. It does not. It means honoring one with presence. The lives you did not choose were not stolen from you. They were never promised. They existed only as potential. And potential is not a debt you owe the universe. You are allowed to disappoint imaginary versions of yourself. They do not have to be satisfied. They do not have to be fulfilled. Only the living you requires care. In our universe, the shift happened when people accepted this truth. You cannot live every life, but you can live one honestly. Choosing is not about certainty. It is about consent. Consent to limitation. Consent to depth. Consent to being shaped by consequences. Yes, some doors will close. Some possibilities will end. And something else will finally begin. You do not need to choose perfectly. You need to choose consciously. A door closed with awareness becomes a boundary. A door left open out of fear becomes a wound. If you are listening now, let this settle gently. Grieve the lives you will not live. Grieve them fully, then release them. They were not failures. They were options. Your life begins where hesitation ends.
End of transmission.